interested in some Buffy School Countdown? I don't know about that. I wonder what I should have. Can I interest you in some Buffy School Countdown? I don't know about that. Well, what do you know about that? Sit down, let us persuade you. Dear Disney Dog, people have reached for a glass of milk for over 6,000 years. Milk is the perfect drink with 13 nutrients and 8 grams of protein. No way! Actually, yes way, because whey is the protein that builds your muscles. Dear Disney Dog, we have plenty of milk for you to try. My sweet Matilda can produce an average of 8 gallons of milk each day. Don't you mean 6-7 gallons? That is 112 cartons of milk a day. That feeds up to 5 classes a day. Dear Disney Dog, the nutrients in milk, including calcium, potassium, vitamin D, and magnesium, help kids like you grow strong. Dear Disney Dog, so what will it be? I'll take a Buffy's Cool Cow Milk. Yes, you can!
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Lueken Dairy Virtual Live Chat. I'm Brittany with Discover Dairy, and today is going to be so much fun. We've got Farmer Abby on standby. We've got your questions rolling in, and we have the cutest calf on the planet, Betty, ready for her close-up. This event is part of the Adopt a Cow program, where over 48,000 teachers and 2.1 million students joined us this year, all for free, thanks to our incredible supporters at the American Dairy Association, Indiana, and Dairy Excellence Foundation. And I know many of you are already excited for next year, so go ahead and mark your calendars. When open enrollment starts May 1st, you can go to discoverdairy.com once registration goes live. And because this is live, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and drop your questions. Tell us where you're joining from. Let's fill that chat with all kinds of energy. And let's see where people are joining from already. So we had some folks join early on who are already asking some fun questions. So I'm excited to have those for Farmer Abby. Hello. We've got some folks here who are excited to see Betty. Hello and welcome. Let's see. We have some folks joining us from Southern Illinois. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. We have Miss M's class from Greenfield, Indiana. Hello, welcome all. Thanks for joining us today. Let's see, and we've got Miss Sebastian's class from Gold Academy in Indianapolis, Indiana, and they love following Betty. We do too. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we've got some more questions coming in. So love to see it all. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are, without further ado, gonna go ahead and get started. So. Hello, Farmer Abby. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing really well. How are you guys doing? Hope
Oh,
you
we are
guys are
doing,
doing good.
yeah, we're doing really well. We are so excited to be here with you today. I can already see a bunch more questions coming in, so some very, very excited kiddos. Um, Abby, it is so great to see you. It's so great to hear from you. I will let you take it away. Go ahead and let us know, give us a little bit about you, the farm, and we're excited to hear what it's like to be a dairy farmer.
All right. Okay. So, my husband and I, we are third generation on our farm. We do have two little boys that some of you guys got to see pictures of, and sometimes they'd appear in your update pictures. So Jack and Henry, and who knows, Henry's class might actually be joining in because he's been
Oh,
following Betty this whole time as well. So, hi,
hello.
Henry, if you're on. Yeah, and we really enjoy sharing our dairy with everybody. We do a dairy event every year in June, so I'll give those at the end for this year's.
Mm,
I
cool.
absolutely love going into classrooms and talking with all the students. And I Zoom call with some of the kids too. So I really enjoyed just sharing the dairy life with everybody. It's one of my favorite things.
That's awesome. Now, Farmer Abby, how did you even get involved with dairy? Like when did your dairy journey begin?
My dairy journey began whenever I started dating my husband. This
Gotcha.
is his family's farm, but
Oh,
that doesn't mean that ag has never been a part of my family
sure.
or my life. Um, I grew up with grain farmers mostly, and then
Ah,
my uncle turkey farm. So ag has always been a part of my
wow.
life. Dairy just happened to enter it as well later on.
Cool. Oh, I love that. Well, we certainly have loved having you as our host farmer this year. But of course, one of the best parts about following you has also been getting to see our sweet little Betty. So we're going to go ahead and get our camera turned around here so we can see how Betty's doing. Oh
There
my
she
gosh.
is.
Hey, Betty.
With all of
Oh
her friends
my.
too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at them all.
Yeah.
They're like, "Who are you and what are you doing over there?"
Yes, they're very curious animals, but
Oh
they're
my
lovely
gosh.
and sweet.
So
Um,
I'm trying to remember, Farmer Abby, I believe when Betty was born, she was only like 86 pounds and 31 inches. And I know at our most recent update, we had said she was probably about 530 pounds. So how much bigger do you think she is now about a month later?
well, she is probably about 580 now, probably pushing about 600
Wow.
pounds right now. Yeah, and she's actually wanting to give me some love. Um,
Warming up to you.
yeah. Yeah, and she looks a little bigger than the others. We've kind of held her back on our farm because our girls, whenever they get to be Betty's age, they actually go down to a heifer farm in Kentucky where they'll be for about 2 years until they're pregnant. And then before they have their calf, then they come back to our farm. So she's
Gotcha.
getting ready in a couple weeks, maybe to take a truck down there and head out there.
Gotcha. Cool. So it's not normal that she's still here, which kind of makes sense, right? Because we can
Yeah.
see all those cuties behind her. They definitely look littler than her. So she's had a little
Yes.
extra love and stay with Farmer Abby, thanks to the Adopt a Cow program, right? But
Yes. Yes.
she'll be joining all of her other herd mates who are her size and her friends shortly, as soon as the program ends. So that's awesome. You actually mentioned, uh, about when she'll be down there until she's about 2 years old. So we actually had a question from someone here that they were curious: Is Betty going to have any calves? So can maybe just re-talk about that and give some more detail around will she have a calf and how often will she have a calf, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So hopefully in about 2 years she'll be expecting her first calf, and then
Oh,
it'll be just about every year after that ish having a calf because
okay,
in order to get milk from a cow, they have to have a calf first.
sure,
So it's the babies that help us
yeah.
be able to have milk. Our
Awesome. So that makes sense. I mean, a lot like humans,
Yeah,
right? We can't
yeah,
produce milk until we've had a baby, so cows are the same way.
exactly. Yeah, in our if people watching, if they had Lucy, she just had her first calf a few months ago. So she's back on our
Oh my
farm. Yep.
gosh. So that was from your first year with
Yeah.
us, right?
Yes.
Oh my
Yep. Yep.
gosh.
So our very first adopt a cow program, we had Lucy, and she's already back, and she's had her first calf. So
Wow. Oh, well,
yeah.
congrats to Lucy.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear she's doing so well still on the farm. And, I think that's neat and a testimony to, I think some folks are like, well, what happens to our calf after the program's over, right? Well, they're
Yeah.
still living on the farm. So Betty's going to
Yep.
go on to live and be a heifer and live with all her herd mates. And the hope is someday she'll have a calf of her own and join the milking herd and come back and visit you, Farmer Abby, and then get to be your buddy for a while. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Let's see. Ooh, a really good question, and I can help walk through this if we need to. This is a good one from Miss M's Greenfield first grade class. They were wondering what happens with the milk and all of the parts of the milk. So like these are
Oh,
some smart first graders, Farmer Abby. So like the
yeah,
whey and the
yes,
fat
yeah,
and the proteins, right? So
right.
what happens? So maybe what happens to the milk once it leaves your farm? Where does it go after that?
A great question. So at our farm, most of it is going into what we would call fluid milk. So it is going to be put in jugs. That
Gotcha.
would be your fluid milk. So then it'll be pasteurized to get rid of all the bad bacteria. So that process is just warming up the milk, killing the bacteria, and
Sure.
then put in the jugs.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what brand by any chance, or like, or is it kind of whatever is just bottling at that time?
Yeah, so some of the brands would, well, one of the brand for sure would be like True Moo would be one of them.
Oh, okay.
I think if now we ship down to Nashville, Tennessee. So most of our
Hmm,
milk will be south of us. It doesn't always come back to our area. There is it's called Purity brand, and
okay.
sometimes it's made into chocolate milk. And there's a number on it on the jug that you'll get, and if it says like lot, I believe it's 18, some of our milk could possibly be in that chocolate milk.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
cool. So what, 18, like plant code number, right? Probably
Yes.
the
Yeah.
year yeah, is 18. And that could mean it's coming from you. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we see Miss Betty chowing down on some stuff right now. She goes from the bucket to the water. Sometimes she wants to eat the little handle. Can we talk
Yeah.
about what is she eating right now? And is this her normal
Yeah.
diet?
So yeah, this is part of her normal diet. So this is called TMR. Okay, so you can see it's kind of a bunch of different things in here, but we have some corn silage in it. So you'll see some corn
Oh
in
yeah.
it. It has then some wheatlage. So what's
Mhm.
in our field, whenever I bring the camera back up, you'll see our winter wheat that we're about to harvest probably later this week, actually. Um, and then it has some cottonseed in it. It has some minerals in it. But all of this is all just a bunch of stuff put together and ground up just for her. We have a nutritionist that we work with to give us this special recipe for her. So she's getting the most nutritious meal every day. Sometimes what we like to say is they're eating better than us because their diet is coming straight from a nutritionist all the
Wow.
time. Yeah.
So they have their own nutritionist. I don't even have my own nutritionist,
I
Farmer
know.
Abby.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have a very special diet, strictly, just for them. And
Wow.
that's just one more way that we take care of our cows and our
Yeah.
calves here.
Wow. That's awesome. Let's see. So we kind of jumped this part, and I apologize. So tell us a little bit more about Betty, right? So we know she was born in September. What's her personality been like throughout the year as you've had a chance to take photos of her and get to know her?
Oh, she has been she has been a character. So she would know whenever we were coming to take her pictures and her height and weight.
Oh my
As you
goodness.
can see, she would easily blend in with all of her friends. You know, right now, like we've talked about, she's a little bit bigger, but whenever she was in the same size, she would like to play Where's Waldo,
Oh
and
my
she'd go
goodness.
hide within. So it was a little bit of a challenge. Sometimes I'd have to bring some of my friends in at the farm to help me um, get her into her little photo area. But she's a fun one. She's a lot of fun.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and they are herd animals, right? So they feel
Yeah.
safest hanging out with their herd mates
hmm
and just being in a pen. And you guys are, how many cows do you have on the farm total?
So milking wise, we're milking 1,400, so
Wow.
1,400. But we do have another 200 that are dried off, getting ready to have their babies.
Sure.
So that would be 16 at the dairy, and
Okay.
then here, if I turn the camera and you can see all our little huts and our babies.
Oh, the
So we have
baby.
about 520 huts over here
Wow.
that we can have. And then we can have about 15, up to 15 babies born in a day, too. So,
Wow.
and that's a high number, but it can happen.
Oh my goodness. So do you have special people on standby to be watching and helping if anything if any cows ever need any help? That's a lot of babies in one day.
Yes, yes. So we constantly have people walking that barn to make sure the cows are going to have a healthy delivery.
Sure.
Um, and there's somebody always there to make sure that she is having, a safe delivery as well.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. That is a lot of animals. So, Farmer Abby, that's a lot of animals to keep track of. And you guys are, I'm sure it's, 10, 20 or so employees, but still, that's not one person per cow, right? So, how do you begin to manage and keep track of all of those animals to make sure they're all happy and healthy?
Oh, well, so you can see how our girls, what I like to say, have their really beautiful accessories. So they've all got these pretty yellow earrings on. But then as you can see, they all have numbers on them.
Mhm.
So that is one way. So Betty's just one of our special calves here on the farm. So she gets a name, but we go by the number. And
Gotcha.
then later on, let me get this out of my pocket. But if everyone kind of see this fun
Oh, yeah.
little ear tag, and on the back, it has a microchip on it.
Whoa.
So yeah, so what that does is that'll get put on. So she'll get a third earring, well, fourth. We'll talk about the other one. But the
Hmm.
orange tags, then what they do is, has anybody, everybody's kind of seen a Fitbit, right? Or an Apple
Hmm.
Watch?
Hmm.
Well, that's kind of how it works. It's able to help us keep track of their activity. So if they're getting up and moving, um, because one thing, whenever we don't feel good, we don't want to get off the couch or get out of bed, right? Like,
Right.
I don't know about you, but I kind of like to read a book, sit on
Hmm.
sit on my couch and read a book, or maybe watch a little TV. So just like them, they're not going to want to get up and move around much either. So what'll happen is an alarm will go off on Alex's phone, Farmer Alex's phone, and it'll moo because naturally that's what the app would do. And and it would say, hey, number 1, 2, 3, 4 is not moving much today. You may need to go check her out. So then that tells him, okay, go, and tells him what barn they're in, and then to go and check them out. The other thing that's really neat is it takes the average of all the cows' body temperatures. So what
Wow.
that would tell us is if a cow is running hotter, it would tell us that they're running a fever. So then that's another way that, okay, this one's running hotter than most. We also need to go check this one out, and better take, give her the care and love that she needs too.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So you've got those yellow tags to keep track of who is who. You've got those orange tags, which are pretty much like a Fitbit tracking
Yeah.
so that it's almost like it tells you, when your watch tells you to stand up because it's been so long since you since you stood up, kind of
Yes.
one of those things.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned there's another tag. I think there's like a
Yeah.
white button or something.
So if you can see on this cute little one, her little white
Hmm.
button tag,
Yeah.
Betty's is kind of hidden on her in her ear,
Yeah.
but that is going to tell us her genetics. So it'll
Whoa.
tell her more about her genetics, and
Hmm.
then that'll give us more information later on too, with her
Wow.
milking and all that. Yeah. So on our farm, there's a lot of new things happening, and technology is really helping us take care of them.
Yeah. And I guess knowing about genetics, right, I guess is really important because if you know a cow maybe had a hard time calving, or maybe she just her feet and legs are a little bit weaker than most, knowing those genetics, you could breed her to an animal that has stronger genetics, so that way their calf is a happy, healthier baby, right? That's a big
Yeah,
part of what can help, or better production or anything like that.
definitely.
That's awesome. Very cool. Farmer Abby, we had a good question asking about you and your family. So I'm actually we're gonna flip your camera here just for a
All
second.
right.
We were curious. is your family, are they the only people that are on the farm, or do you have employees? And like, what's kind of everyone's role on the farm?
Yeah, so it is just us on the farm, but then we do have about 23 employees that help us out in the day to day.
Wow.
But you know what? Our employees are just like family, and we love them just like family. Um, so we're just it's definitely a family farm through and through.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Very cool. So you've got people dedicated to the calves and the breathing area. You've got people dedicated to milking the cows, right? I'm sure you've
Yes.
got someone specially mixing that feed and helping working with that nutritionist to make the feed and all that sort of
Oh yeah,
stuff.
and he loves giving the littles tractor rides. So Jack and
Oh,
Henry get a bunch of tractor rides and help feed the
oh,
cows too.
that's awesome. Now you mentioned
Yeah.
Jack and Henry, and I'll see if I can find the comment here that someone made, and we'll flip back over to Betty. But someone was just curious about your kiddos. They were curious, how old are they? They've seen them in pictures, so they were just curious.
Oh yeah. So 5, and he loves telling people that
Oh.
because he's a big guy now. And then you have Jack, who is 2.5. And the fun fact about Jack is Jack turned 2 4 days before Betty was born. So
Oh, so he
yeah.
okay, so he's pretty much just like 2 years behind Betty then, or ahead of Betty. Oh, the
Yep.
birthdays are
So the
really
past
close.
2 years, yep, I tried to get calves that were born on his birthday, but no girls were born.
Of course, right? That's how it
Yes.
always goes.
Yes.
Oh man. Let's see. We've had some other really great questions here. We'll try to get through as many as we can. Thank you so much, everyone, for submitting some great questions. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, this one, I couldn't agree more. We said, how did Betty get so darn cute? That's from Miss M's class. I know.
Oh, I
Isn't she
know.
adorable? Look at her close
She's
up
so
there.
sweet. Yeah.
And she was really hamming it up when she was coming to give you some kisses earlier too. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
oh my goodness.
She's definitely warming up to me today.
Oh, good, good, good. Let's see. We had a good question come in here that they were curious, how much milk will Betty make? This is specifically in her life, but maybe do you have any idea how much a cow produces in a day?
Yeah. So here on our farm, they are producing up to 75 pounds a
Hmm,
day.
okay.
So 75 to 80. Um, and then if we convert it to gallons, that'd be about 10 gallons of milk a day.
Wow.
Because about a gallon of milk weighs about 8 pounds.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Wow. So about, yeah, 9 to 10 gallons of milk a day per calf. And you said you were milking 1,400 calves. So wow.
Yeah.
Or 1,400 cows. So
Yep.
that's a lot of milk even just in one day. So we'll let you guys do the math,
Yeah.
right? They to figure out if they milk, they're pretty much milking about every single day except for 60 days every year because that's when they're dry, and when
Mhm.
they're just working on producing that, making that baby inside of them. So every single day but 60 days, they produce about 9 to 10 gallons a day. And how long do they live for? Probably what, like 7, 8
Yeah,
years old
about
or
8.
so?
Yeah.
8?
Yep.
Okay. And they're producing milk starting from when they're 2. So I would love to see
Right,
if
so
anyone
about
can do that
6.
math, right? So from
Yeah,
their
let us
from their
know.
2 to 8, so about 6 years, about 9 to 10 gallons a day, and every day but 60 days. So we'll see, it's about 305 days, right? So we'll see if anyone can
Mhm.
figure out that math on approximately how much milk one cow can produce in her lifetime. And while we wait for people to figure that out here, let's see. We had another good question from Miss Kylie. You're curious, where do you get the farm equipment? Interesting
Oh,
question.
that is a
Yeah.
very interesting question. I like to say on our farm, we don't discriminate on what kind of tractors we get. We have all different colors. So we have some old Ford tractors, which
Nice.
don't really exist anymore.
Right?
And then we have some John Deere. We have some Case IH.
Hmm,
Um, we have JCBs.
nice.
Goodness, we just got them all. We
Yep.
got the rainbow of tracks here.
That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, and there's
Yep.
probably, so just similar to like we have car dealerships, right? It's
Yep.
probably
We
very
have.
similar that you can go to like a tractor dealership type thing.
Yep. Exactly. So you kind
Cool.
of pull up to the dealership just like a car, and you go and talk to a salesman. We're lucky to have some really great business people around our area that we can build a relationship with. So,
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. Very cool. Let's see. We've got another great question that came in here. They were curious, we're going to get some
When we're
coziness here.
tired. Yeah.
We were curious, does Betty have any siblings? Do we know if she has any siblings?
That is something I have not looked up, but I
Let me
believe she was from a
Yeah, let me look. I think I
first
might be able to. I
Lactation.
know a while ago, I think we might have pulled that info. Let me look up here quick if I can find
Say
it.
hi.
But what we can get some cute close-ups of our sweet girl
Yes.
while we look for that. Oh my goodness. So she's actually this is a great time to just kind of as we're close up, right? So she's laying down. She's clearly wide awake yet, but obviously she's chilling, she's hanging out. How much do cows sleep? Like, do they have a bedtime or do they just sleep when they want? Like, what does that look like?
What I've noticed is they like to just sleep whenever they want. So that's the awesome thing about having a freestall barn. So a freestall barn allows the cows to get up and move around, and they can get water whenever they want. They can get feed whenever they want. They can sleep whenever they want. I mean, I get up and I go to workout and leave the house about 4:45, and I always make sure to drive through the farm, and there's always some cows awake. so so they're up at all hours.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they definitely hang out, but like what Betty is displaying here, are definitely hoping they rest as much as possible,
Yes.
especially our milking cows because they're making milk every time they're resting.
I
So,
think she's showing you that she's chewing her cud. She's giving you guys
yes,
all the views.
she is. So what is chewing your cud, Farmer Abby?
So that's kind of them, and you can help me too. It's
Sure.
bringing
Yeah.
food up
Hmm.
from their first stomach,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
then kind of re-chewing that
Yeah.
food to help digest.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? So cows, they don't have top teeth. It's very interesting. They only have bottom teeth. So they can't really chew their food, their first bite. They kind of take their giant tongue, which is like a foot long, and they wrap it around their food and they yank it down and they don't really chew it. They just kind of swallow it. And then when they're relaxing and nice and calm like this, they're just because they're ruminants, they've got four compartments in their stomach. The food comes up, she re-chews it and actually takes her time to chew it, getting all those nutrients out of it, and then she'll send it back down and her body brings up more. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but they really only do that once they're relaxed and hanging out. So
Hmm.
she is definitely displaying that she is very comfortable hanging out with us right now. I love that.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good sign on the farm to watch for too whenever they are
Yeah,
laying down and they are chewing their cud.
yeah, absolutely. And Farmer Abby, I finally found it. The answer, you are correct. She is a first time calf out of her mama, so she does not have any siblings at this point. But the hope is, right, that her dam, her mom, will hopefully be pregnant and have another baby sometime in September. So we will
Yeah.
see how that goes. All right, Farmer Abby, we are getting close here to wrap up our time together. We have absolutely loved getting to see our sweet Betty. She really is putting on this cute little show for us. And the girls behind her, they definitely did not lose interest in us. They
Oh
were they were
no.
hanging out the whole
Nope.
time too.
They're having a great time. Yeah,
Oh my goodness. So
there they
Farmer
all
Abby,
are.
I'm gonna wrap up with our last question here, and I'm just curious. You touched on it a little bit, but what's your why? Why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? Why do you do what you do every day? I know you married into it, right? But you have to love it to stay in it. So,
Yeah.
what's your why behind it?
I absolutely love sharing the dairy right now. In this day and age, we have social media, and I think a lot of miscommunication can happen through that. And I just love being able to share the facts and getting the correct information out. But the seeing, and I think the kids, like you all, the kids are my favorite part.
Yeah.
Teaching you guys, where your food comes from. um,
Yeah.
I just last week I was in a kindergarten class, or I'm sorry, first grade class. They might correct me if they're on here. And yeah, so first grade class, and we made butter together. And
Oh,
I mean that was just something they didn't know they could make their own butter. So that was just something really awesome. And as I mentioned, kind of at the beginning, we have what's called Dairy Day coming in June.
yes.
So it is June 13th at the Du Bois County 4-H Fairgrounds here in Indiana, and it's all about dairy. It's from 10 to
Wow.
2, and you can come. You can try all different kinds of dairy products. We even have homemade ice cream that's going to be made by a family member. They have a little hit and miss engine, little John Deere engine, and he is able to crank out homemade ice cream in about 20 minutes.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
so it's a
My
lot of
stomach
fun. Yeah.
wants that so badly.
Yes, and you know what? It's a free event. So we welcome
Wow.
anyone from Indiana. You got, if you want to make the trip, I always say you come for Dairy Day, stay for Holiday World. It's about 30 minutes away from us, but
Wow.
just come and enjoy. You can find me on Facebook to find more information about that
Yeah.
event too.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you said that's in June, is that right?
Yep, June 13th.
June 13th. Awesome. So you can go meet Farmer Abby, get to enjoy all kinds of delicious dairy products. Please eat some of that homemade ice cream for me. I am a sucker for homemade ice cream. Oh, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Farmer Abby. Wow, this has been an amazing farm visit today. A huge thank you to you, Farmer Abby, for opening your barn doors and letting us get to meet Betty up close. And of course, thank you all to all the classrooms and teachers and students
Yes.
for joining us and asking such great questions and bringing so much excitement to today's live chat. You all really had fantastic questions. I hope you had fun learning all about Dairy Farm and seeing, where your adopted calf is and how she's growing. If you love this experience and want to join the adventure again next year, don't forget enrollment will open again starting May 1st. So mark your calendars, discoverdairy.com/adopt. You can get re-enrolled for next year's program starting May 1st. So, from all of us at Discover Dairy and Leakin Dairy, thank you for spending your afternoon with us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye, everybody.